half liters of water, Monster, coffee. Shit's gonna get crazy.
Okay.
We roll.
Everything's
Live.
high percent. Oh boy.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, this one is.
Yeah, just what's wrong?
It's quite. Mine's quite sensitive.
Yeah, I've turned you right up.
You don't have to turn me right. You can turn me right
Hello,
down.
hello,
So
hello.
you've got the controls. I put them right next to you. So the third one
Yo.
will be you. Yeah, that's
This
you
one.
there. And then you just need to.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello.
That actually sounds way better.
Hello. Yeah. Then I'll just talk into it if I need to.
Yeah, you can move that the way you want. I thought just a little bit higher up might help you.
Yeah.
And then, boy, the next cable down, you just plug into the laptop quickly. The red one.
This one.
Yeah, that's that audio jack. For sounds from. Oh, fuck, let me turn the TV on. Yeah, I watched everything. I don't know how much you guys watched.
I watched during my tick bar yesterday. I watched.
Did you have ticks?
I did. I had one of me.
4 or 5.
Those little red ones. Or the proper big fuckers.
I had one on my chest over here. That to get
Yes, but I had tick bite fever once when I was a kid, bro. It was
You know-
fucking gnarly, dude.
You know, there's 3 strands of tick bite fever, and you can only get each strand once.
Is it?
So you'll never get that strand
So
again.
I had those little red ones, bro.
Oh yeah, that's like quite a specific.
So I had to like get into a bath as hot as humanly possible, and then my mom had to pick them off. But you gotta like do it carefully because otherwise the head stays in.
Yeah.
So she had to like. I was so fucking sick. It was hectic. It's no joke, eh?
No, it's not. Everyone who gets it says it's like they felt like they were on the verge of
It's
death.
fucking hectic, bro. I was
It's
young.
anything like malaria.
Yeah,
which it sounds like.
Yeah, I don't know. It does sound quite similar to malaria. Boy, if you just drop down, and just open up Air Parrot. Like in the middle of there's a big parrot face. Yeah. Double click on that. Whack it again. Oh, there we go. That first one, any cost. Bam.
Cool.
Donezo. You're free to go, bro.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Old Devetus. What is he sending me? Everyone's up in arms about Herb Dean and Dan Hardy.
Oh, they're having a go at each other. Huh?
Yeah. I don't know. It's a bit of a weird one. Like, did you see what happened
I
with
didn't-
Trinaldo and Jai Herbert?
I didn't actually see that.
So it's like Trinaldo catches Jai Herbert with like a straight left hand
Yeah.
that like completely buckles him. So he does a bit of a stanky leg and then he drops.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know when you're like halfway in, halfway out, and Trinaldo kind of just like stands over him, and Herb comes and they kind of just like all stand there, and then Herb doesn't do anything. Like the dude's still like half in, half out, and then Trinaldo has to like lay in a few shots. But it's over, but like the fight's over.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like it's done.
Yeah.
Like there's no covering up. It's there was no need to have to go and throw in a few shots. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So obviously, like Dan Hardy got quite vocal. You can hear him shouting on the commentary, like "Stop the fight!" Like, and he's like, "That's the second time." There was a second incident.
Yeah, there was the
I
late,
haven't seen
stoppage
it,
of
yeah.
Aldo versus Peter Yan. Wasn't that
Yeah,
also
I
Herb?
think that was one. But I think on that night there was a second incident as well.
Jeez.
Because like even like the Khamzat fight, I think they probably could have stopped. But I just can't remember if that was Herb or not.
The thing is, like, the unfortunate reality with refs, they can have 100 fights and they do a great job on 99 of
Yeah.
them, but that one that they don't do a great job is the one that sticks out for everyone. You know? And,
Yeah,
I mean, Herb's the best.
Yeah,
in
that's
the
the
business.
thing. Like it's
like so difficult. He's gonna make a mistake somewhere. He refs so many fights
Yeah.
a year. Like he's gonna land up making a mistake. You know.
But you know, like now it's like a bit of a pissing contest between who's trying to reiterate their point the best. You know
What's
what I mean?
Herb saying?
Well, Herb's like, I think we can watch his statement somewhere,
YouTube.
maybe, or even Instagram. I was watching it. It was on Twitter maybe as well. Let's just hope that this, yeah. Thanks goodness.
Okay, so Herb Dean
Well, that dog's now podcast famous.
Yeah, it's a weird scenario because it's Herb Dean. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, but it was just one of those situations where the fight was over, dude.
Yeah.
There was no need to put more shots in. You know what I mean? Like, it was done. I've seen way worse though.
Yeah.
Definitely seen way worse.
Definitely.
Are you gonna click on Herb Dean, boy, or are you just gonna stare at it? Yeah, that's the one. Hopefully the volume's not gonna scorch our ears. Should be okay. Four minutes, eh? Herb. Highlights maybe. But like also, if you Herb, you should be saying, in your opinion, it wasn't a late stoppage. You know, what I mean? You can't be the authoritarian on it. Yeah. Just pause here, because it's going to be, it carries on like that. He's kind of just trying to like reiterate his point. There's a couple of problems there. Like I get what Herb's saying. Look, it's one of the scenarios like you hear it from both ends. You know what I mean? Like I understand both sides, and I understand what Herb's saying. But at the end of the day, bro, like we could probably try and pull up that clip, Roarke. Maybe just.
Dan Hardy.
No, yeah, that we'll be able to find, but just the Trinaldo versus Herbert, maybe just Google Trinaldo versus Herbert controversy. Like it's, I understand what Herb's saying, but the fight was definitely over, bro. Like it wasn't necessary. You know what I mean? Look, it wasn't. You could see Trinaldo was holding back, like he was throwing just enough just to get Herb to step in. Yeah. But he's kind of trying to say that Dan Hardy made him stop the fight because he heard the voice say stop the fight. You know what I mean? I don't think that's correct, bro. You know what I mean? Like I don't think that that's fair. Yeah, let's see what happens, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
what's
we'll
the worst
figure
case?
it out.
What's the worst case scenario, bro? So check, yeah. Look at him, bro. You see, he's waiting, and I tucks in. You see what I'm saying?
No.
See, even Felder agrees, bro. Because look at this, bro. He's completely out, bro. Like, he's half in, half out. Can you see? He's trying to put his hands up.
Yeah.
But look, like, and he still does nothing, bro.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a late stoppage, but
not the worst.
Definitely nowhere near the worst.
You know what I'm saying?
Been some
yeah,
horrific
yeah.
ones.
No, for sure. But that's my thing. It's just like now they're both trying to justify on who was right. You know what I mean? I think to some degree both guys are right. I think Herb, in retrospect, will look back and then say, look, he probably could have just considered it a walk-off KO. You know what I mean? He didn't have to. Like, it's done, bro. It's over. And you can't say that you stopped the fight because you heard someone saying stop the fight.
Look, it's also difficult. Like in that moment, he still looks like he's actively trying to defend himself, right? it does look like that. And I mean, we got the benefit of seeing replays and having
Exactly.
different angles and
Exactly.
whatever. You know, like it still looked like he was potentially in it. You know, like often the fights are stopped when the he gets hit while he's on the ground and guys' hands go limp, and then the body starts going limp, and then they stop it, or the guy turtles up and then he takes like 4 or 5 shots,
Yeah.
and then they stop the fight.
Sure.
So like, I mean, it's a late stoppage, definitely. I don't think it's the worst stoppage.
Yeah, it's a lot of fuss being made over an incident that, like, we understand, but for sure, let's make noise about the really bad ones. You know what I'm saying?
I thought the whole issue was that there was like a build-up of these events. Like, there's been a number of these events that have like led up to this,
Yeah.
like,
so
name and shame situation.
yeah, so it's like there's obviously something going on. I mean, they're saying it Herb, because if you watch a video with Dan Hardy, he shouts after it, he's like, "That's the second time." You know what I mean? Like, it's, I don't know, but again, because it's Herb Dean.
Can you
like,
find out who the ref was for the Peter Yan Jose Aldo fight?
Yeah, that fight that could have stopped way fucking earlier. Boop, boop, Wanted to say,
They usually say officiating.
On Tapology rules, so
Yeah.
who the officiate, who...
There we go.
Herb Dean.
Tell me if you guys see about information here. Leon Roberts.
Okay.
Mm,
And then there was also the Khamzat versus...
the first one.
Yeah. He has to be Fight Island MVP, right?
100%, bro. Hey? Like, I think, I'm not
Didn't even get to leave Abu Dhabi, just...
I'm not even.
Carry on
I'm
going.
not 100% sure on my facts, but I'm pretty sure he signed with the UFC on like 10 days' notice, or maybe even shorter. Went to Abu Dhabi, took his fight, got a bonus.
Didn't get hit once.
The guy landed 2 strikes, I think, in the first fight.
No, it said... I saw this...
No, it's 2. So it's 181 to 2, and in the second fight, the Oak lands 0. So there was 2 strikes landed, I think, in the first fight. They were probably like ground strikes. So arrives there, takes another fight on 10 days' notice. His second bout in the UFC goes from middleweight down to welterweight. Okay, in 10 days. Then fucking gets another bonus. Doesn't get hit once. Leaves there. His strike differential must be through the roof, because it was, I think the stats thought it was 182 to 1, and 1 strike landed on him somewhere along the line.
I thought it was 68 to 0 and 128 to 0. That's what
Yeah.
I remember seeing something.
Something like that. It's fucking insane, dude.
But I mean, his whole life
Remember-
has changed. His whole life has changed in 10 days.
Yeah,
dude.
that's completely. He's changed his whole life.
He's
insane.
wealthy. He's in the UFC. He's
the biggest prospect.
he's already
all of a sudden,
jumped
bro.
from a no name to
Yeah.
a potentially ranked individual in the next like 2 or 3 fights. It's madness, dude. It's absolutely mad. And now he's like playing 2 divisions already.
Yeah.
Craziness.
What was the last one?
He remember watching him against fucking Mzwandile Klongwa,
Yeah.
and like Oaks was saying, like Klongwa is being set up. Like, this dude they're building him.
Yeah.
Obviously for this reason. I mean, he was a welterweight. Mzwandile is a huge person.
Yeah.
He's a monster.
Yeah,
You know what I
100%.
mean? And he ragdolled him, dude. Like,
Yeah.
absolutely ragdolled him. He
Nah.
carried him across the cage, bro.
Yeah.
He literally shot the double, picked him up, and carried him back to his corner.
It's madness, dude.
He's like, everyone's like talking about the Khabib similarities, obviously, because he keeps saying like, just want to smash and whatever else. But he is a fucking animal.
Total strike.
So he landed 69 to 0 in that last fight. 69 to 0. That is mental.
Hey,
And then 40 of those 60, or so 68 to 0. 40 of those 68 were significant.
it looks like the fights he's involved in, it just looks like he's just on a completely different stratosphere to his opponents.
Yeah. Just pull up the first
I haven't
fight.
seen him in any sort of trouble anywhere.
What do you want me to pull up? Sorry, what?
The first fight he had on Fight Island.
Yeah, let's go.
Boars.
John Phillips.
I reckon the middleweight.
Yeah, right. 124 to 2. 43 significant strikes to 1. My goodness. Dude, in that Reese
Reese McKee.
the Reese McKee fight, it didn't even look like that guy fought. It's just 0-0.
Yeah, no,
0-0.
it's like he just arrived.
Yeah.
Imagine being Reese McKee. They're like, we've got you in the UFC. You're gonna fight this fella, but it's gonna be okay. This is your chance. And then, what do you say to the matchmakers afterwards? Like, I'm very sorry about that. I'll do better.
Dude,
I reckon.
It didn't even look like he got going. Like, it didn't even look like.
No, he didn't. He got taken down straight away.
Yeah, it was madness.
I reckon Sean Shelby will just be like, listen, bro, it's okay. We understand. Like, we'll give you another fight. Like,
They have to.
yeah,
They
it's
have
gonna
to.
be okay. But like, how do you explain to someone in the welterweight division making his debut? It's just like, listen, there's this guy and then there's you. You're just not gonna ever be there. So you can just be here, make some money, and like call it a day. Like, you're just never gonna beat that person.
Yeah.
Sorry for you. And that dude came from lightweight, bro. Khamzat. He can. I was speaking to Yusuf because Yusuf is the one who signed him to Brave, and he reckons that he could probably still make lightweight.
That is craziness.
Well, look how easy he shed to welterweight, bro,
Yeah,
on 10 days.
That's craziness.
You can't
He
do
probably
that.
didn't cut for middleweight. He probably just pitched
Yeah,
up.
it was 186, but he still went from 186 to 171 in 10 days. After, well, I mean, he took a fight. We can't really call it a fight. He went there and submitted somebody. You know what I'm saying? So, like, he can probably really, really do it. If he has a long enough camp, he could probably
And that John
really
Phillips
crack
guy
it.
isn't a scrub, dude.
Yeah.
22-9 going into that fight. Oh no, he was 22-10 because it's pre-fight record.
Yeah.
And the Reese McKee 10-3, dude. Like he didn't fight scrubs.
Dude, it's going to be very interesting to see what they do with this kid next. But this is one of those scenarios. It's like Adesanya. So now you've seen the prospect, you've seen the capabilities. Like, they're going to start pushing him like fast and hard.
Yeah.
They'll probably get him another 2 fights this year, maybe even 3. You know what I mean?
Just
Depending on how it goes.
5 fights in half a year.
Yeah.
Would be absolute
Because
madness.
look at the welterweight division, dude. You're begging for a new contender.
Yeah.
Because Usman has literally cleared out the entire division. So all of a sudden, you're looking at the welterweight division. You're like, hang on, yeah. You know, we could get this kid another unranked opponent, a ranked opponent, then someone like Colby. If he can get past all 3 of those, fuck, we can't deny him. You know what I mean? He gets
Just
on
go
the
back-
mic and starts calling out the right people. Fuck. It's
Go back to his record. I just want to see how many amateur fights he had.
100,000. You're one of those guys. 100,000.
That's what
amateur
I
fights.
want to see. It's he's 8-0 as a pro, but I want to see like
Let me check shirt.
No bouts.
I'll check shirt out.
Sherdog had something there. I'm almost sure of it. 3.
Just 3. But probably Nordic Warrior. TKO, submission. Bravo choke and a guillotine.
Check out that TKO.
100% finish rate, eh? Never been to a decision.
Madness, dude.
They should sign Rickus and do this guy with Rickus.
Yes, dude.
That's it.
Because Rickus chops this guy. Now he's like,
Anyone who chops this guy is straight up.
Did you guys watch that Fiziev? Yes, dude. That is one crazy motherfucker. Because me and Yusuf were talking about him versus Don. Be fireworks. He fought Jacasey.
Oh yes.
That dude is that dude that always you always see the video clips like he's going into the Matrix in Muay Thai, like he's from Tiger Muay Thai, and he's fucking hectic. He's very good.
I do find that people definitely overrate Jacasey though.
Yeah.
He's got so much hype.
You know what Jacasey is? He's flashy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's got like cool spinning techniques and stuff. So you like just assume that he's deadly, but he's really fucking not.
Yeah.
That was Don's argument with Stevie Ray. He was saying like, why are you taking the easier fight? You know what I mean? He's like, oh, Mark Jacasey's not the easier fight, and I'm like, well, he is. Like, let's be honest, he is. It's a name. If you're Stevie Ray, it's a name. Cool, but you're definitely ducking out.
Yeah.
Because anyone with like Stevie Ray's sort of fight style it's a nightmare for Jacasey. You know what I mean? If you're gonna sit and let him work from the outside, he's gonna go to work.
at this point, I think I'd be happy to see Don fight anyone.
Fight a shadow, eh? He could fight. He could shadow box on the plane.
What's the deal with that? Could Don?
We can't leave, bro.
Could Don legally leave the country to go fight? Because you can still travel internationally for.
No, I don't think you can.
At all. But there are international flights all the time.
Repatriations. which are double the price.
Let's repatriate him to.
So yeah,
Just get that beard going.
yeah, dude, it's a very shit scenario.
It's upsetting
From what I understand, there were 2 local guys who were actually supposed to feature on Fight Island for this card, the last one, and the one before. But
you're
because
not going to say who.
but because of the fact that we can't leave, it's they couldn't fucking go.
Yeah.
And I mean, we know, bro. Given us, maybe the circumstance will help, but you know, one of those people was supposed to be making their debut. You know, when you say no to the UFC, it's never a fucking good thing, dude.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I'm
don't
sure
know.
the UFC are a little bit more understanding.
More lenient, yeah.
I mean,
Well, we would hope so.
yeah. I mean, you can't leave the country. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
it's just
It's
impossible.
because you've got someone, especially for South Africa, right? Someone that the people who know how good he is, like someone that could go super far in the
Yeah.
UFC, and he's just it's one unfortunate situation after another.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I think going forward, I think any sort of UFC prospect from here, sadly, has to leave the country. I think that's the best way forward. I think if you look at JP, I don't think he would have got this opportunity if he stayed here.
Oh, definitely.
I really don't. You know what I mean? So I think that's the unfortunate the circumstance. If you want to be serious and you want to be a prospect and you want to push for the UFC, I don't think you can do it from here. I mean, Don's the exception. You know what I mean? I think Dricus will get there, but Dricus has had to go about it the hardest way possible. You know what I mean? He's had to win belts in multiple organizations and stay at the EFC and keep fighting. You know what I mean? Like, because they're talking about him versus Gideon Drotsky now in well, hopefully August, probably towards the end of August.
Hopefully, yeah.
Like,
he
I'm
just
like-
needs to get through the,
I'm like, cool, bro, and
no
then.
offense to Gideon, but like
No,
Just
but like
get through
let's
that
be
time.
honest. That
Yeah.
fight is 100% designed for Dricus to pick up another belt. There's always going to be danger. There's always going to be danger.
well,
You know, like I know how it sounds, but there's always going to be danger, bro. You know
I
what I mean?
think someone was saying the other day, it's like anything can happen in MMA, right?
100%.
It can be down to the last second. Whereas like in basketball, in rugby, if they've scored like 100 tries and you I don't play rugby, but you and
Clearly.
you're on 0, there's no ways you're gonna make that difference up.
Yeah.
By a certain time period, there's 0 chance of you winning. But in MMA, you've got a chance all the way to the last
Yeah,
second.
for
So
sure.
Well, I think like in any fight, for the first 2 minutes, both fighters are extremely dangerous, right? It's the better fighter that starts pulling away after that 2-minute mark, and if they're close, so like, with no offense to Gideon, but you put Dricus and Gideon together.
Yeah.
If Gideon doesn't do something in the first 2 minutes, you don't see
Yeah.
him ever coming back in that fight, dude. It's like Dricus will just pull straight
Yeah,
away
yeah,
from
yeah,
him,
no.
and it'll just be one-way traffic until there's a stoppage.
No, 100%.
There's obviously these anomalies, like when Paul Craig did that round 3, 4 minutes 59
Yeah.
triangle after getting murdered for 3 rounds, right? There's these variations, but I mean, like the reality of the situation is that the lesser fighter only really has a decent chance for that, for that
like
first
a
bit
puncher's chance.
for
Yeah.
that first bit of the fight. Then once everything's settled, it's like
Yeah.
the
you're not
better
gonna
fight's
get
always going
back,
to pull
yeah.
away, dude.
100%. Like my question is in the EFC landscape. If you look at that picture where Dricus is going to get a light heavyweight title, or he's
Yeah.
going to fight for a light heavyweight title. And like, cool, like, you know, you've got all of these belts, but like us here locally are like looking at Gideon Drotsky, and you're like, Gideon is long past his prime, realistically. You know what I mean? There was a time where Gideon Drotsky was a scary individual. I don't know if he still has that. You know what I mean? Against Junaid Ebanks, I was just like, great fight, but like, this is not a world champion. You know what I'm saying? Like, Gideon
But
is not.
Junaid also
He's also not.
is also on like a long skid. I
Exactly.
mean, he won his first fight this weekend.
Exactly.
How long,
You spark Junaid Ebanks, and I'm like, okay, it's still there. You know what I mean? You know, but like you're being dragged to a decision, and like a close decision, you're like, okay. Let me ask you the question: how does Gideon Drotsky state more claim in the EFC landscape of light heavyweight? How does he state more claim than Zakir Badat?
Yeah,
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
craziness.
If you wanna give Dricus a really risky challenge,
Yeah, Zach, definitely.
You know what I mean? He's
Definitely
physical.
Zach,
His submissions are fucking ridiculous.
That's a zero. There's like that oak's got zero to lose taking that fight.
Yeah.
Zaki Badat.
Yeah.
He's got nothing to lose.
He loses
bro.
what? He's what? 3-1.
Yeah.
That's it.
In a very young professional career.
And a
suppose that is
super high level
It's actually
black
a very
belt, dude.
similar situation to what happened with Drickus and Gareth.
Mm.
Like Drickus had zero to lose taking
Yeah.
that Gareth
Yeah.
fight.
How they're not getting that fight made? If you want to come back after all of this with a bank, with a bank, with
a
no
bank.
money in the bank, but a bang, Drickus
To
was
make some bank.
Soldier Boy. There was a lot of talk about Drickus and Martin as well. Apparently,
Stop.
there's
That's a fight that I'd like to see. again.
But they're
middleweight.
like so different in
At
weight
mi-
class
at
now.
middle-
yeah,
middleweight.
middleweight, yeah.
One dropped to lightweight, the other one went up to middleweight. That doesn't seem like.
Yeah, it seems a bit ridiculous.
But like you think about like a guy like Martin. That's he's at that point of his career where
dude, that thing with
big fun fights are.
that's a lack of fight to watch for the fans.
Yeah.
It just as a matchmaker, how do you even put that together? You got the lightweight champion versus the middleweight and potentially light heavyweight champion. So like, let's
Hey,
just
bro,
skip all the welterweights.
This is Corona times, dude. This is Corona times.
Listen, we're gonna have Bullet on there as well soon. So I mean,
Oh, we've even forgotten about old Bullet. When AKA, didn't AKA want to sign up? I'll fucking fight AKA, bro. Well, how much? What do we need to cut, bro? Middleweight. I can make middleweight. Fucking easy, dude. I'll fight AKA for fucking 10 grand, but
You check, like, Gideon all the way up to Fraser Opie was.
yeah,
that's
look,
good
there
name.
was a time where Gideon Drotsky was an animal, but he beat fucking Brendan Groenewald, pal.
This
and Donnie
Norman-
van
this-
Heerden.
Actually, I want to find that. That Norman Vessels one.
Jesse Norman,
Oh.
like
But you
We
know
were
what?
we
Norman
were talking
brutalized him.
about. I was
Jeez,
talking
like
to someone about Norman the other day, and just like how good he was. Like I don't think we'll ever remember I don't think we'll ever get to see actually how good he really was. Unfortunately.
I just remember how he brutalized Gideon and then absolutely
Oh, this is gonna be hard definition.
dominated
No, that's
Dolce,
not it.
dude. When he
Best fight Norman Vessel ever.
just
So
yeah.
we-
Cars X Innovation.
That's from this video. Okay.
What's with the dubbed music over the top? Yeah, how was this filmed, bro?
This is just okay.
You see, some oak was trying to get figure out Premiere Pro, obviously.
Yeah.
You always want to see a good
Six
countdown
Love.
show.
So these old school countdowns are awesome, eh?
Oh,
UFC 35.
oh, tattooless rich, eh? I swear I've heard this track, like,
How big is Norman here? Is he a light heavyweight at this time?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's huge at light heavyweight already, eh?
Yeah.
And you know Norman was about to drop to middleweight before he stopped fighting, eh? Who's on the mic there?
Dina Batalis.
It is a young, mighty mullet there by Gideon Drotsky, what? Hey?
Yeah.
He was doing the mullet before it was cool, eh?
If he was sitting in that room, you wouldn't be so jippo.
Because he butchered you, dude. Yes.
I remember that cut because he I think it was like I think he had his back and I think he threw him towards the cage.
Yeah.
And his head went
Yeah.
between the foam and the fencing and it caught.
Yeah, I remember that actually. It was quite
Cable
hectic,
tie.
yeah.
And it was just it's the first time I've ever seen like blood going.
But do you remember he was so dominant in that fight that he still stopped mid ground and pound and just tuned someone in the crowd like
Yeah, cool. Fuck you, pal. Let me just finish this, then I'm coming. Bro, if I'm sitting in the crowd, if I'm sitting in the crowd,
Pack my bags quickly. I'm out of there.
I would not leave the bag, but I'm out. Leave the bag, my man. I'm fucking out of there. Imagine fucking Norman Vessels takes a breather from beating the snot out of somebody to look at you in the crowd. I'm out. You can keep the bag, dog. I'm gone, buddy. I am fucking gone, mate. I'll be like, shoo, time to go, bro. Oh, fuck, that's awesome. But anyway, Fight Island, bro. What a fucking showcase of sport, my man. What the hell?
It's still weird watching all of this, like, no crowd stuff, but...
You know, there were people in the crowd there.
But it was all
in
like,
the safe zone, yeah.
Oh, the safe zone.
Yeah. So there were
Obviously
were
those parts.
There were fans, but like even Dana's like, he's like, we can't call them fans. You know, like these people are being tested non-stop. Like it's a different scenario. It's a completely different scenario. You know what I mean? But I mean, like
how
Abu
many
Dhabi,
people there?
Not a lot.
Like a couple hundred.
Yeah.
Or
No,
like
no.
tens and 20s.
Yeah, like probably maybe like 100, like extra
Okay.
staff and stuff that have been working on the gig and whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I hope you don't get a virus from this website. But I already
Yes, dude. This looks like a guaranteed virus, yeah. MMAcore.com. Check pop-ups, bro. Here we go. This thing's already installed. This thing's installed new running software. Shot boy. Appreciate it. Check out this shit, bro.
Dude,
Things are popping up. Pick and Pay's on the go. It's all happening.
update your drivers in 2 minutes. You want me to?
Yeah. Please don't click that. Please don't click that. That'll not be cool.
Oh, 5+ subscription.
7 day. I love these. 7-day free trial, and from there on, it's $100 a day.
Guys, they sell
These are also selling EFC merch.
Africa. EFC
Dude.
Africa merch. That's classic.
Fight Island, bro. No,
You got
this
all of it?
website is dodgy McDodge, bro.
Ooh, Fight
Holy shit. Hey?
They got all the EFC content on there.
I wonder if EFC know about this.
For sure they don't know about that.
Oh, God. We're going to be subscribed to something by the end of this. 100%.
Oh, no deposit, 90-day preferred first payments at Island.
What was your favorite fight? Or Fight Island?
Sure, there was actually so many. Like, let's just... What were the main fights that we had there?
We had Usman Masvidal.
Yeah, that didn't really like tick all the boxes.
But like someone asked me and I was like, for sure I don't watch that fight. It's going to be boring as fuck.
Darren Till versus Whitaker was
Yeah.
lacquer to watch this weekend, dude.
That was a sick fight, dude.
That was lacquer.
It was such a crazy fight to see Darren Till, like, and I think Darren Till kind of said it. He hit the hammer on the head. He's like, I didn't get the win yet tonight, but I think he got to prove to himself that his technical ability is up there with the best in the world. You know what I mean? And on the night, he can really put it on.
Well, he proved that he is like championship caliber, you know? He might
Yeah.
not have got the win this time.
Yeah.
He might not have beat Woodley.
Yeah.
But, you know, he's like right there
Yeah, and he's young. He's 27, 28, bro.
with a world of experience.
Yeah,
dude.
you know what I'm saying. So I think I liked what I saw from Darren Till. I liked the maturity in his fight style, his technical ability, and dude, Robert Whitaker's. You forget how good Robert Whitaker is. You know what I mean? Because he just got blasted by Adesanya. You know, but that.
You forget he beat Yoel twice.
Yeah, but you know, it's the same like Stipe, bro. After Francis,
Yeah.
got smashed, bro. Whitaker goes and faces fucking Yoel for 10 rounds, comes out of it and gets knocked out. You know what I mean? I think it's you pay a price fighting those guys. Bro. I think he knew that even. He's like, well, probably need to fucking get some time out.
I heard Volkanovski versus Holloway was good as well.
Yeah, Volkanovski versus Holloway is really good, dude.
Yeah, that was like a fight. That was very close, dude.
Yeah.
That was super close. I also
Although
enjoyed.
Yan, that was a good fight.
I enjoyed this weekend Verdum versus.
You were the only one who called it.
Yeah.
It's just gonna remind us that he-
I hate seeing Gustafsson lose. He always looks so sad.
Gustafsson's awesome, dude, but like you just know that he could never ever match the ground game of Verdum, dude. You're talking about one of the greatest jiu-jitsu players in submission artists in MMA. You knew the moment he hit the ground it was going to be tough work,
Yeah.
dude. This like Verdum's the only person that's ever submitted Big Nog.
Yeah.
Like he's phenomenal on the ground. So you knew that it was for Verdum it was just about getting it to
Yeah.
the ground, and once once it hit the ground, that it was going to be just a matter of
And
time
like
before it was over.
Verdum even said that that's how he'd win that fight by submission. He just didn't know which one.
Yeah.
And that armbar was fucking nasty, dude.
Yeah, dude.
It was
When you check
nasty.
how fast Gustafsson tapped from that thing.
Yeah.
Gustafsson also 240 pounds, pal. Boys giving that scale a hard time, my man. Fuck. That's huge, dude. And he's like 6'4".
No, that is.
He's an animal, bro.
I hope he comes back.
Have
I
you-
hope he's not.
Yeah, I think he will.
Well,
I think he
I
will.
can't do another Gustafsson retirement, dude. Like,
Yeah, please.
We're like 2 in already. Like, let's just give it a little bit of a break until we get the third one down.
Yeah. And like it's, you see him and Verdum standing with Sean Shelby in the middle. You're like, where are you, Sean?
Well, Verdum's just come back from a suspension, dude, and he's sporting a hard dad bod there.
Yeah, I was
dude.
gonna say let's be honest. Whatever Verdum popped for wasn't testosterone, but
Yes, dude.
if anything, he popped for fucking Krispy Kremes, bro.
But he was so much leaner, and now that he's come back from suspension, he's been hitting that Burger King hard, dude.
He's been hanging out at Jose Aldo's spot, bro.
Yo.
Racking up the burgers.
The Big Nog versus Shogun fight. You can see both those oaks are old now.
Dude, but
Like, you
how,
can
but
see-
those oaks fucking
still
peeled back the-
entertaining, dude.
Yeses, dude. My wife was watching it. Like I put it on last night as we were trying, and she's like, "How old are these guys?" I'm like, "Yeah, they've been around. They've been around a while."
There's definitely an argument for like a Masters division of
Dude,
MMA, dude.
those two dudes put on a fucking show, dude.
You're like,
Like they put on a show.
everyone in this division, we're scrapping the weight classes. It's
Yeah.
just about age.
Age, yeah.
You have to be over 45. You're over 45, you're in this division, and we'll just keep you guys together. Because
Yes,
that was
dude.
entertaining.
You get
dude.
old Mark Hunt back in there.
Yeah, that's it, bro. Could be. Mark Hunt would never fight
No.
for the UFC again,
No.
dude.
Dan Henderson,
Yeah.
I
Dan Henderson's.
Uriah
don't
Faber.
think people realize like what a gorilla Dan Henderson is, dude. He was at the Bellator after party when we were there for Chris's vibe. That oak's thick, dude. That oak's like all American, fucking thicker than a Snicker, like just solid, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, he'd give lots of people still a hard time, dude.
Well, he almost blitzed flipping Bisping a second time.
He did. He caught him that overhand right. Like
Imagine,
twice.
dude. Imagine he had won the middleweight title, dude.
At what is he? 45.
Yeah.
Big
That's
bastard. So you boys been out shooting pigs again, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good weekend.
I like the weekend.
There was some very high highs, some very low lows.
Some
but it was
low
good.
highs.
Some low highs, yes.
Highs,
It
low
was all
highs.
just
Our
variations of
edibles
highs.
dispenser kind of
Worked us.
well the first night I had one biscuit. And I
If you
was
want to
like-
know what it was like, go watch Trinaldo versus Herbert.
and we're talking about Herbert, not Trinaldo. The first night, came back from hunting, nothing really happened. So I had a biscuit, and I was like, it's alright, nothing's really happening. So after about an hour, I had a second biscuit, and
I think they call that the schoolboy era.
yeah, yes, bro, I paid hard school fees this weekend, Tara. And so while I'm eating the second biscuit, start feeling okay. This first biscuit might have been a little bit stronger than I expected it to be. So finish it. Eventually, my life starts changing, like right before my eyes, dude. I'm like, okay, I need to get to bed quickly, like quickly. So I tell my brother, sweet, I'm going to bed. He's like, he also ate 2 biscuits. My brother's like, I think I'm also going to go to bed. He passes out. I'm lying in bed. I'm trying to, like, I wake up at about 11:30. And while I'm lying there, I'm like trying to convince myself I'm not going to throw up. So I'm like breathing. I'm like, I'm not gonna throw
Full
up.
recovery, full recovery.
I'm not going to throw up. And I was like, maybe I should go to the bathroom just in case. As I get up, I'm like, oh, fuck, I better get to the bathroom quickly, dude. For the next 30 to 45 minutes, dude, I was just throwing up. I was lying half naked on the floor. Like, my life had changed. At one stage, I convinced myself I had tick bite fever. I was like, no, this can't be the edibles. It's completely tick bite fever. I'm dying here. So I recover. The next morning, I'm out early. I feel kind of recovered, just feel a little bit hungover. Then Roarke and these oaks pitch up. I'm like, guys, you have to eat these edibles. They're fantastic. So they're all like reluctant. So I tune in, okay, you know what you guys need to do? You need to eat a third of a cupcake and you need to eat a third of a biscuit. So Rourke's like super like not keen, but
He's
we
being
eventually
a narc.
he's being a narc. Yeah, everyone's like on his case, like don't be a narc, don't be a pussy, don't be this. Like peer pressure was horrible that weekend. So Rourke eats a third of a cupcake, a third of a biscuit. Vaughn eats a third of a cupcake, a third of a biscuit, and Lance eats a third of a cupcake, a third of a biscuit. They're all like everyone's normal. Everyone's like eventually Vaughn, who's like 6'4". He's like he'd be sitting between Rourke and myself, and he's just sitting there like this. So like we're looking at this guy, we're like, he's actually fallen asleep next to the fire, right? So Rourke's like, hey, Vaughn, wake up. As Vaughn wakes up, he goes, where am I, guys? Where am I? Where have you taken me? So eventually like realizes what's happening. He's like, man, I need to go to bed. Rourke's laughing, but while he's laughing, he's like, oh shit, this thing's also hitting me.
It was basically like Back to the Future after that. Just teleporting through the camp at different times.
Teleporting through time.
Dude, so these oaks pass out. Vaughn
so
is
funny.
white as a sheet, dude. Like white. Like
Like
I was,
this monster can white.
I was like, this oak's definitely gonna vomit somewhere, dude. Like he's out of it. Lance is just having a good time. Like
He hit the sweet spot. He was
Yeah.
just canning himself. in.
Lance is secretly not my first time.
no,
Yeah.
dude. Like he's definitely a seasoned veteran, dude. So the next morning we meant to go to like a dawn hunt. Like we meant to get dropped off just before sunrise, and then
Yeah.
you walk and stalk through the bush. So guys, like, I'm gonna be here 6 o'clock sharp. So I'm like 100% I can do that. Everyone agrees to it. 6 o'clock comes, I'm ready, bags packed, car's there, my bow's on the truck, my bag's in the truck. I go find Rourke. Rourke is still lying in bed.
From
Like,
my side of
he's
things,
like,
I
can't.
had just closed my eyes to go to sleep the night before.
5 minutes ago.
seconds.
I walk into his room. He's like, I just can't do it. I can't do it today. So I was like, Rourke, you did the crime, time to do the time, right? So he does a quick hop, skip, and a jump, and we're
I was
off.
still putting clothes on into the truck.
Yeah, and we're off. And now that's like an 11,000 hectare farm. It takes you 1 hour of traveling from one side of the farm to the other side of the farm. So eventually we get there, but somehow the grouping for the day was Rourke, Vaughn, and myself. So I got the two high and hungover guys.
I was still completely high as a kite at this point. So I was still going from the night before.
You're still time traveling.
Yes, dude, this oak was goners, dude. But we get dropped off and we see these hartebeest running across. So we're like, it's going to be a great day.
I saw a purple jackal.
Purple jackal, yes. This oak was high as a kite. And Vaughn was high as a kite. But the first animal like that we saw that we could like legitimately hunt, these oaks sober up quickly, dude. Like, whoop, like time to get into action mode. Rourke and myself hit like warthogs like about a minute apart. Like as we got onto like this one open plain, we saw these warthogs in the distance. So Vaughn's like, no, there's actually one on your left hand side. So I hit the first one. Doop. He like walks a little bit, goes and lays under a tree. So we see like.
Well, first you got to say that's very uncharacteristic of pigs. One, any sort of sound or smell, they'll bolt, they'll run a K. They don't like. They're very, because obviously they're bottom of the food chain, so they bounce far. So for this thing to get hit and walk and go sit down 200 meters away from us is very uncharacteristic.
Yeah.
Maybe he ate one of your cookies.
Yeah, he was part of the crew that ate the edibles. So I draw the bow, hit it, doom, sits down. So Rourke and myself watching, we're like, none of the other pigs went away because it was a long shot. So the closer you are to the animals, the more they'll scatter when you release the shot. So hit the pig, lies down. Rourke's like, none of them are moving. So we like stalk, get around in one bush. Rourke's like, doop, hits another one. We're like, this one just runs just over there, and we're like, what is going on? This is like the best thing ever. So we decide now we're gonna try and get these animals. There's like a long story, like us trying to get these animals. So we're standing there like looking, more pigs come in. So Rourke and myself like sneak up to them, like 30 yards. We look at them, they're not too big. We leave them. Through this whole process, he's still fucking high.
I shot an animal. I only got home, only when I got back later that afternoon, we get back to the camp, I was like, how think I might still be a little bit buzzed. Like, I think I'm still going from the night before. And then I was like, I don't actually remember too much of shooting that pig.
Did I shoot a pig? Was that real?
Yeah. Well, then the guy comes. We played hide and seek with Warren's one. It was shot a little bit further back, but it was dying. Right, it was bleeding profusely. So we're like, you want to be ethical, right? So we were trying to find it so that we could maybe shoot it one more time. But this thing was clever. It had like run us in circles. So eventually we like, stuff this. We're gonna call the tracker to come find this thing. So he pitches up. Vaughn climbs in the truck, and passes out dead on the seat. Same position.
Same position. It's still hard to cut, dude.
I think I've done enough for today. This is like your safety place. You gotta just grab the bridge of your nose and just call it a day.
Well, I woke up and like grabbed his chest, like, guys, where am I? Where have you brought me to? No, Vaughn, you're right. And I looked at him, I was like, oh, flip, he's 6'2". I'm not 6'2". That's just hit him. Whatever's about to happen to me is gonna be a wild ride.
It was a wild ride, though. I also almost killed Roarke and Lance. We're like waiting for this thing. It's my first weekend with this crossbow, so I like alternate between crossbows and compound bows. And this pig comes in, and we're in like this hide.
We just
like
got back
brick
from
and
a
mortar
walk-in
hide.
store, so we're unpacking our gear.
Yeah, brick and mortar hide, right? Waiting. This pig comes in, nice size. I'm like, yo. So I line up, get everything correct, but we're sitting so deep in the hide because we don't want anything to see us because the sun's shining through. I line up, doop, but now it's like 440 feet per second arrow, a carbon fiber arrow. And I didn't check the clearance of the windowsill, and it just hits the window. Poof! It's like a war movie. It's just debris everywhere. And we're all looking at each other.
Checking for holes.
I'm alive.
But
Everyone's still alive?
Lance is sitting with us. He's never heard or seen a crossbow be fired.
Yeah.
So they're not loud. It's not like gun loud.
Yeah.
But it's enough that it makes like a pop, right?
Yeah.
So I tuned in before because he's filming. I was like, just steady yourself. This thing's it's a little bit louder than a bow. He's like, cool. So he's filming Warren. Now that you just hear this explosion and just like there's just like dust and debris flying everywhere. So he's got zero idea what just happens. He's like, yes, your Roarke was right. This thing is louder. There's dust landing on all of us.
Yeah.
Warren and I knew exactly that. We're looking for holes. There's an arrow sitting next to me here. And then it was just, obviously, still slightly buzzed.
Yeah.
It was cry laughing for an hour and a half.
So we've got this thing in hunting. It's called Cunt of the Hunt, right? It's like the oak who did the worst thing on the weekend, and then like you get that title for the weekend. So barring me almost killing everyone, I'm still trying to get my groove on this crossbow. So like we do this
18.5 Ks.
18.5K walk and stalk. It was like long, dude, but you need the wind to play its part in order for you to be able to hunt. And it's just like changing direction. So after 18.5Ks of walking, and we decided now we're going to go to the hide and we'll just chill and see what happens. We sit there. Like, we sit down. We haven't seen any animals the whole day, right?
Everyone's popping monsters.
Everyone's like,
getting
monsters, food, drink, whatever, coffee. I'm still unpacking the box with the crossbow and everything in it. Lance is like, guys. And there's this pig there. I'm like, oh, definitely have to try and shoot that. Quickly, like, get the crossbow ready. Not even space to stand, dude. I'm like leaning over a box, leaning back against the wall. Lance is like right next to me, just trying to get the shot in quickly. Doop, shoot straight under it into the sand. I was like, oh, my goodness, what is going on this weekend, dude?
Yeah. So yeah, we want to next time maybe take some mats through.
Yeah, do a little bit of roll.
High rollers. And then
yeah, we think we're gonna do like mats.
You're gonna have to measure your dose, boy.
Mats and hunting.
you the one who put the sign. Warren's like, L's got your back.
Listen,
He's a scientist when it comes to
let me
this stuff.
explain this to you quite nicely. Anything over 20 milligrams is a very high dose.
Yeah, Warren's
a
like,
very high
Warren's
dose.
like, it's like Or like Rourke is like a baby joint. Like don't.
Listen,
I
listen,
say
Rourke.
to you, if you share it, it's like each of you having a joint.
Listen, Rourke. I don't feel sorry for you because you guys brought back he brought the gummy bears. You were part of the gang. You convinced me it's gonna be fine. I had to come back and check my gate was closed 3 times. Okay. So fucking don't you dare. Don't you dare.
I had the 25 milligrams and I had the 100 milligrams, and then you had the 25, and we gave him the 100. And you just checked, just sweating.
Bro, I was dying. I got into my bed and I was like, I am not okay. I am not okay. And I was like, I didn't close the gate. I get up and I go back and I like check. I'm like, okay, the gate's closed. Go back to bed and I get back into bed. I'm like, I am not okay. I'm like, fuck. Was the gate actually closed? I'm like, I go back. Like, okay, good. It is closed. I go back to bed. I wake my wife up. I'm like, I'm not okay. She's like, fuck off. Like, yeah, I'm like, fuck, was the gate closed? Like, man. The whole time I'm lying there, I'm like, fuck these guys. This is fucking cuck.
They shy me something chronic.
Oh, it was so bad. And I was like, I'm too scared to go pee. I'm going to have to go. And it takes you like half an hour to work up the courage to get up.
No, yes, that thing was brutal, dude. I was still hanging the following day, dude. I was still like, oh my goodness.
A bit of brain soup. It's awesome.
Yes.
Welcome to Brain Soupville.
Jesse.
Yeah. So what's next now after Fire Island? They're back to the Apex Center, eh?
So there's a couple of problems, bro. There was another respike in Vegas. So it's a bit touch and go with Vegas at the moment, but they are headed back. I think Stipe DC will happen in Vegas, probably 1 or 2 other fight nights. And then they're talking about heading back to Abu Dhabi for September for Adesanya versus Paulo Costa. But I don't know if that's going to happen. I think there's a big possibility that they head to New Zealand.
That would make sense.
Crowds, dude. You can have crowds.
Yeah, well, there's no lockdown in New Zealand at all.
So I know
what are the travel restrictions for New Zealand? Are their borders completely open?
I think that's now in September, is quite a while away. So I think it comes down to opening up the conversation, which it seems is maybe already happening. So if you're looking at a base for like an international base, Australia and New Zealand are quite out of it because it's so far.
Yeah.
The time zones are so bad. But who knows, bro? If you can have a crowd and you can go New Zealand and then Australia, or use the both and then go back to Abu Dhabi, and then hopefully by that time America's back on track. Because they said they are looking for new territories now.
Well, the thing is, like, if you think about it, right, for any country that isn't part of like the Anzac region, or that isn't like kind of in the same time zone as Australia and New Zealand in Asia, it's like it's brutal for anyone to travel to those countries, dude.
For sure.
The time differences are crazy.
Intense.
I mean, if you're traveling from South Africa, I mean, if you don't have a direct flight to New Zealand, you're talking like over 30 hours of travel time. Dude.
Yeah.
Like between going in airports and if you're coming from America, it's a similar type of problem. It's just it's like not well positioned, you know.
Yeah.
At least like if you had to come to Africa, like everyone in Europe's kind of on our time zone, you know. It's not such a big problem, but but it makes sense if you do another month. If you do a month in New Zealand, and everyone gets and they can acclimatize, and I think that'll be great.
I think it's look, if you're the UFC, that's definitely on your mind, because now all of a sudden you can put on like Paulo Costa Adesanya is going to do crazy numbers. I think we all know that. If you can do that now with a crowd, fuck, dude, that changes the game in New Zealand,
in Adesanya's home country.
You know what I'm saying? So if you're from a business perspective, you're looking at it, you're like, if we can do that, fuck, that's gonna obviously help recover a lot of costs that we've had to endure. That's the craziest thing I think nobody's really talking about, is the absolute audacity of what the UFC's gone and done, and the amount of money that they've... Look, Abu Dhabi's a different story because you've got them committing to the infrastructure. You know, the financial commitment to that infrastructure is immense. Yeah. It's huge. I don't think people realize.
They definitely made money for this fight.
And like everyone was like, oh, the moment you realize that Abu Dhabi did this to advertise, I'm like, of course it's what it's fucking about. Why else would you do that?
Yeah.
And it's be like, oh no, it's cool, I'll bring your shit here, like we don't mind. Of course, it's like a massive showpiece
Yeah.
For Abu Dhabi. You know, all of a sudden you're like, well, fuck, let's go to Abu Dhabi then. You know, like let's get out of here.
Exactly.
You know?
Abu Dhabi tourism definitely benefits dramatically from it.
Massively.
So like, why wouldn't?
Massively.
But I don't see what the problem is for that. You know.
Yeah,
Like,
you know, people are just get a bit sour, I guess.
yeah.
Figueiredo versus Benavidez, for sure. Joseph Benavidez, let's call it a day.
I don't think on your career. I just think let's not fight for titles anymore, dude. Like you can win all the fights, just not the title fights.
Yeah,
like
Figueiredo is fucking
Hey, we've got
beast, dude.
we've got JP up soon.
yeah,
Yeah, August
11th of August,
Him and Cheyenne,
same day.
a week apart.
Yeah, she's the 18th.
They're a
eh?
week apart. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I hope both of them get their UFC contracts.
Husband wife combo in the UFC, dude. That would be pretty epic.
If he can get this solid win, and then get some decent win, is he fighting in flyweight for sure?
Yeah,
It's a nice. It's easy. Nothing's easy in the UFC, but it's a pretty cool path to the title. In a
slightly more shallow division, so
Yeah.
it's a easier path to like really stick up your hand.
But he's also not. He's not a tiny bantamweight either. Like he could do well at flyweight and do well at bantamweight.
I think flyweight is where he belongs, dude.
Yeah, there's some massive bantamweights in
So
the UFC, dude.
this Nate Smith has got quite the repertoire, bro. It's not an easy go. But this is he's had an opponent change. It was somebody else before, I'm sure. Team Elevation. So he's 6-0, eh? Split decision, unanimous decision, RNC. What was the last one? Double LFA?
LFA, yeah.
Punches from back mount. Can we not just say TKO?
Yeah.
I think JP will beat him. I was watching his fight. He's good, but he's not insane. I don't think. But it's interesting. JP decided this fight to cut to flyweight.
No, it doesn't work like that, dude. It's like, okay, well, we've got these openings. Have these, you know, like, so like gym owners or managers will have a relationship with the
Matchmakers.
With the matchmakers. The matchmakers are like,
whoever else.
okay, we need to put together a flyweight fight. What fighters have you got available that are on this like category of fighter? You know, like an up and coming fighter, someone on a win streak, and they can fight at this weight. And then they say, okay, I've got JP and I've got this oak and I've got this guy. Then they'll say, okay, this guy fits the part better. Then they'll put him in. So JP obviously had a good in there because he's been on the Contender Series previously. He's been a champion in the EFC. He's fought at Brave, you know.
Dude.
So yeah.
Boy's
So I think
looking
that's
shredded,
kind of how it works, you know.
Looks like it's flipping strong.
Yes, he's looking shredded, but hey,
Quads for days, eh?
yes, dude.
Yeah. Not Mark Coleman. Who's the Mr. Olympia? He wants his legs back.
Ronnie Cole.
Ronnie Coleman, yeah.
Yeah, dude. I think this is the right move for JP. If I'm honest, bro. I think at his age, I think the cut to flyweight is the right call. I think he'll do well.
Yeah.
You know, I think later on in his career, if he starts packing on a bit more size, he can consider the permanent stay at bantamweight. I mean, like, look at this at LFA. Like, LFA is high class competition at bantamweight, and he was ragdolling fools.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think he can get his foot in the door by fighting this guy flyweight. Once he's got a few wins, he can obviously move up, you know.
Yeah. So when they sign you, they always like want you to start at a specific weight category, and if you've been successful at that weight category, there's more negotiating room for you to move up or down a weight category. But if you're not winning at the weight category they signed you at, then they won't let you do that.
Yeah, because from what I understood from Dolce's team was that they wanted him to move down to middleweight, but he had to rack up a couple of wins before he could do that.
Yeah.
Which is tough because now you're stuck in a weight class you technically don't really want to be in. If you've got plans to go down, you're stuck somewhere you don't really want to be, you know?
Well, I think Dolce probably could have moved down, made the move down to middleweight had he won the second fight as well.
Yeah.
You know, because then they could have been like, okay, this guy, he's a killer at light heavy. He'll be even more of a killer at middle.
For sure.
Shame he got sparked.
Yeah. But
In that.
And it's gone troop still, eh? Since
Sorry?
then. It's gone very quiet since then. We haven't heard much from him.
Yeah. Well, let's hope he comes back with a bang.
Yeah. Some hard techno beats
Yo.
coming in there,
Yes.
dude. Yes.
Dubstep.
Yeah. I think you see that. He said he might be a lion, but it takes 7 lions to take down a buffalo. Must be a small buffalo then. It's horrible. Who was the guy he fought?
That Antigulov.
Yeah.
Ankalev, yeah. That's the one I meant. Ankalev.
Yes,
Yes, dude.
that
And
oak-
Rosok
that
is
oak-
fucking scary, bro.
That oak gave him a front kick from hell, dude.
Dude. And I think, like, if I remember, I think his corner called for it. They called for their front kick up the middle.
I mean, that guy beat Iron Kutalaba. That guy's not a slouch either, dude.
No, he's just, yeah, but they're supposed to have that. It was a bit dodgy, remember? Like, he was, like, monkeying about that he was, like, trying to, like, give it the old drunken monkey.
Mm.
And then the ref was like, stop the fight. He was like, but I'm actually just playing drunken kung fu here. He's like, for sure don't do that.
Yeah.
For sure don't do that.
Well, they've got the rematch lined up.
Yeah. It's confirmed. Yeah, they the co-main. Yeah, for DC Stipe.
He's 4-1 in the UFC so far.
Open that Stipe versus Cormier card.
Oh, I'm
That's gonna be
excited
a
for this
cracker, dude.
fight, eh?
Good job on the
Super
poster.
excited. Yeah,
Yo.
dude. That is a sick poster.
So Stipe, Daniel, JDS versus Rosenstruck. That's a lack of fight.
Yeah.
Someone's
they're not co-main.
someone's definitely dorsing there, dude.
Yeah.
I think Ankalev beats Kutalab again.
O'Malley
Vieira, that's
Vieira.
a
It's
sick ass
cracker.
fight,
And they
dude.
moved Frankie Edgar, Pedro Munoz, yeah, as well, because they were supposed to be in Fight Island.
Frankie had a visa problem or something,
Yeah.
huh?
Souza,
Frankie
Ashley
Pedro.
Yoda, Felice Herrig versus Rima, whoever that is. Marab versus John Dodson. That's a good fight.
That isn't that Vina chick. She's the. Doesn't she normally have the like peroxide of blonde hair?
Possibly.
No, it's not, because that chick got her ass whooped in her last fight. Marab's fun to watch, dude.
Yeah, he's good, bro.
Against Dodson, that's a
Yeah.
lacquer fight, dude.
High-paced fight. It's a nice
That's a
little
good
card.
card,
this.
eh?
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah, it's a very cool card.
Old Sean O'Malley gets a nice test here. He's got to get past this, otherwise he's not the smoke, eh?
Well,
Yeah.
I reckon that after this fight, he gets through this guy. I think they make Garbrandt versus O'Malley.
I don't know, eh?
You don't think so?
I don't know. Like as funny as it sounds, like I think Sean O'Malley has to get a bit of padding, bro, because he's such a big star. You know what I mean? It's got to be done the right way.
Yeah. Is Vera coming off a loss to Song?
He is.
Oh.
They're feeding O'Malley though.
They are, but that's what I'm saying.
Vera's not an easy fight, though.
Yeah, but
That's
it's
for
like
sure.
his star power is so high. You have to protect it. You know what I mean? You've got to get him into the right position before he takes on like a Cody Garbrandt.
Scroll down a little bit.
Like that division is stacked, bro. You don't need to rush it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Piotr Jan should definitely be fighting Sterling next.
Yeah. But that is the fight next, isn't it?
Well, there's a bit of debate, bro.
Who do they want him to fight?
I don't know, but like it's not as done as you think it is. You know what I mean?
Hey, TJ's almost back. They could do TJ versus
Yeah.
Garbrandt.
Yeah, dude. I think that's the fight to make, bro.
A third
Honestly,
one.
yeah.
third one.
I think so. With everything
So
that's gone on.
Roarke
at
gets
Bellator
knocked out
also.
twice by a guy, and then they're going to do a third
Look,
one.
we're dreamers here, boy. We're dreamers.
Everyone's like,
One and is so far past his expiry date,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
that Oaks had his jaw wired twice, if I'm not mistaken, from getting knocked out.
Yes, for a second I was like, when the hell did he fight Hector Lombard, bro? They're not even in the same stratosphere.
I
And that
agree.
was that
Submission.
yeah,
Quintet.
the quintet.
yes, that's a.
Yes, he went to a draw with Gilbert Melendez, eh?
Yeah.
In a grappling bout, obviously.
Andre
Sukumtat was a good fight, bro.
Yeah.
Sukumtat's a fucking monster.
But I mean, like, all these.
That's the one where he
all
broke.
his-
What did he break? Broke his leg.
I think so, yeah.
Maybe he's lying on the floor for
Yeah.
his post fight.
Yeah.
The problem is like none of his wins in MMA have been against a really high level guy yet.
Sukhamzat will disagree with you. I hear what you're saying. He hasn't been given like a hard test. You know what? I want to see Sean O'Malley deal with like a Frankie Edgar, like a pressure fighter who's going to grapple you to the ground, and you're not going to like submit him easily. You know what I mean? Like that's the kind of test we need to see. So Marlon Vera is a good start, bro. I think that's a super tough fight for Sean O'Malley. And then you want to start stepping it up, bro. You know what I mean? It's okay, look, well, kid, you've had your time now. Like now we're really going to start to pressure you a little bit. I want to see someone who's going to pressure him, who's not going to back down. I think that's the next kind of test. Someone like Frankie Edgar at bantamweight, bro. I think that's a good start.
Or like a Pedro Munoz.
Or Pedro Munoz. Yeah.
So maybe like the winner of the Edgar
even
Munoz
like,
fights O'Malley if he gets
like a Marlon Moraes, bro.
Just
Corey Sandhagen, a Sansao even.
Yeah, Sansao's not a bad
Jimmy
spot.
Rivera, bro, would be a good fighter as well. Because Jimmy Rivera still hits like a truck, dude.
Who went down that popped up one?
Well, you lost Henry Cejudo.
Oh, yeah.
That guy's... I love it.
Even Dom Cruz, bro, be a good fight for Sean O'Malley. Nice veteran fight. But they're talking about...
so this is where the grey area comes in, because Marlon Moraes beat Jose Aldo.
Yeah.
And then Jose got the title shot. So then Jose got beat by Peter Yang. So now it's technically Marlon's opportunity to fight.
Yeah, so I think that's the debate at the moment is between Marlon Moraes, Aljo and Cody Garbrandt.
I think Cody definitely has to step back a little bit for these other oaks, dude.
Yeah.
But then do Sterling versus Garbrandt and Moraes versus Yang.
I think
Cody versus Jose is not a bad fight.
That would be like a fight, actually. I think you need to give Aljo the first shot.
You got to,
Peter
bro.
Yang,
You got to.
They must have the longest winning streaks together.
Even Marlon Moraes versus Cody.
Dude, someone's going to dose. Someone's going to definitely.
Yeah, that's your
round
next
2.
contender, bro. It's a nice fight.
And then you've got
That division is stacked, bro.
bantamweight is sick.
Bantamweight and featherweight are actually insane, bro.
Did you check?
Do you think Zabit gets the next shot at Volkanovski? He kind of has to, bro.
Yeah, definitely, dude.
If you're looking at the rankings, you're gonna go Max Holloway, Calvin Keita, gotta happen.
Yeah,
for sure, gotta happen. You've got to go Ortega versus Zombie, that's gotta happen, or even Yair Rodriguez versus Zabit.
Yeah,
as like a title eliminator.
Josh Emmett's also in the mix there.
Got to throw Josh Emmett in the mix.
Just
dude, Shane Burgos, but for sure, let's do Shane Burgos.
Ryan Hall just floating around there.
He's got a big fight coming up, bro.
Who is it? It's it was a decent name, dude. It was.
Oof, this is a good question. Yeah, he's got a good fight coming up. Just go Google. Oh yeah. No.
Yeah,
Darren Elkins has happened. Just go Google it, bro. It should be on Tapology. The Wizard. Dude, like Ryan Hall's such a funny because he could literally give that entire roster a fucking hard time.
Dude, and you know what the problem is that his biggest problem is that guys won't fight him.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't fight him. I'd be like, fuck you, dude.
Dude, there's almost a 100% guarantee you're gonna get submitted. Like, it's mental, right?
And he's gonna leg lock you.
Yeah, he's gonna leg lock you.
And you can drill all the leg locks you like.
Yeah, dude, it's
He forcefully retired BJ Penn.
Yeah, thank God. No. You gotta go to Tapology. It'll show you the.
You love this show dog thing, Roarke.
But Tapology is a South African website, and they don't often have everything.
Well,
first of all, Tapology is not a South African website.
Which is the South African one?
I don't know, but not Tapology. Tapology's got the deepest record database.
Oh, look at that!
Llamas.
It has the right information.
Why do you think it's a South African website? It's tapology.com to start with.
I'm sure it used to be .co today.
Ah, okay.
I dig how the UFC were using Ryan Hall. They're like, okay, great, like you're getting a bit old. We're gonna give you someone who's gonna submit you. BJ, same story. Darren Elkins, listen, you've taken more than enough damage. Let's just get a submission artist to chill
I
this
think
out.
Darren Elkins once again is a good example. Like I had this conversation with someone, and they said, "Yo, guys must just every time they get in there, they must go to war." And I was like, that's actually like the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard, right? So he's like, what do you mean? I was like, well, there's only so many wars you can have in your career, right? Every time you have a war, it takes a little bit out of you, right? So if someone goes to war every time they go and fight, like that career is going to land up, like the moment you start those wars, the career is going to shorten and shorten and shorten. And I think Darren Elkins is a clear example, right? He's had like a couple of wars in a row now.
Dude.
Right, and and you can see him changing as a fighter, dude. Like there's just something's getting taken away from him every time.
He's that stitch slower. Speech is a stitch more slurred. You know what I mean? It's like you're watching it unfold.
And that's not martial arts. Like if you take one step back, right? What is martial arts? Martial arts is like the art of self-preservation, right? You want to preserve yourself and have the skills to preserve yourself. If you're going to war, that's not actually martial arts. That's just like throwing leather and you getting hit, they getting hit, and then whatever happens happens.
It's a sanctioned brawl, bro.
You look at Khamzat, that is martial arts, dude. He's been hit twice in 2 fights, dude, and he's dulled the oak 180 times in 2 fights.
That's
like
a technical term for
dulled. Getting dulled is also known as ground and pounded.
Dude. On the hunt. Was it the pig shot?
Your 55-yard picture.
So I shoot this pig at 55 yards, straight through the heart, dude.
Spiced him.
We spiced it. So I said, So I turned around to this guy who's like very new to hunting. I go, yesterday that pig got shied. So he goes, okay. He's like, is that a technical term?
Shied. Yeah.
It's very, like, no, Lance, it's the most. It's the least technical term you're ever going to hear in your life.
Check it in the Hunter's Guidebook. You'll see shied. It's under S.
Dullard is when you just hit them slightly worse than shied.
But just going back to that, like, Khamzat to martial artist, dude. Darren Elkins. Yeah, I mean, he's 21-7. He's had 28 fights. He's a martial artist. But I mean, like, that go-to-war mentality is not martial arts, dude. It's like...
Well, look at all the goats of the sport. They didn't... John Jones, Anderson Silva, DJ, none of them went out there and came back, like, pissing blood every time, every fight.
Yeah.
They won with the smartest... game plan for each of those fights. That's what allowed them to get to 10, 11, 12 title defenses because they weren't taking damage in the early ones. Look at all the fighters who did go to war. You watch their decline drop off pretty steeply after a certain amount of those.
But this is the funniest thing. Like it always makes me laugh because like I had a couple of messages today from like your day-to-day fans, you know. Like Herb Dean's right if you're watching the replay, and I'm like, no, you want Herb Dean to be right because you want to see guys getting like butchered. Yeah, you want to see them getting butchered because that's why you're tuning into the sport. I don't want to see that. You know what I mean? Because I'm very well aware of the consequence. So when you talk like that, Usman versus Masvidal, and like somebody asked me, my mate was like, oh, you know, what do you think about this fight? I'm like, listen, dude, don't watch that fight. Because it's not going to be what you expect. Yeah. Because Usman is going to clinch. He's going to grapple if he can. He's going to wear on him. Because that's exactly that's the way you win that fight. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing wrong with it. That's the way you win that fight. Yeah. It's a respect to, and I think if you're watching that first round, Usman tastes a little bit of power, like the body kick and a bit of a right hand, and he's like, okay, I need to actually get to this grappling way quicker than what I thought I would. Because I think in Usman's head, he would have maybe felt it out for half a round, and then gone to work.
Because Usman's kickboxing is really good, right?
It's getting really. I'm
sure you wanted to test it against someone that's regarded as a striker.
And he tasted that power, bro. There's like I think Jorge threw a couple of switch body kicks like early on, with venom, with like serious venom. And
with Shevchenko venom.
Exactly, dude. And then Usman was like, okay, cool, I can't play with that because that will end me. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's no point especially as a champion, an undefeated champion, there's absolutely no fucking point in saying, well, you know, it is power, but I'm going to just fucking go for it because you're going to lose eventually.
But that's why you're the champion, right? You're the martial arts.
Exactly.
The martial arts. You look at like a GSP, right? He was so dominant in all those wins, and in the moment it started becoming a lot closer between him and the challengers, he was like, okay guys, I need to take a step back. I'm taking too much damage in this fight. I'm winning the fights, but I'm taking way too much damage in this fight.
The cost of entry is a lot higher.
Then he took his time out, he came back, dominated Bisping, right? Dominated him, right? And now he's taking a step back again. But I mean, like, that's the thing. It's like, that's what martial arts is about, self-preservation.
So
not going to war.
So
every
then
time.
you look at the Fight Island example, okay? And there was so much like of a backlash for Usman for like the foot stomps, and there were like funny memes, and they are fucking funny. I appreciate them. Don't get me wrong. I love it. It's like, it's cuck funny. But I'm like, he did the job he was supposed to do. And then Khamzat comes along, does it's a way more aggressive wrestling style, but it's still like this, take you down, get the Dagestani seatbelt, or whatever we're calling it now, like ground and pound, and it's fight over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's very one-dimensional, but it's fucking effective. And this is the new era of mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
Wrestling is playing such, but you have to have some degree of capabilities on the hands to get to those exchanges. Well, except for this dude, because it looks like he's just fucking enter when he wants, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's actually ridiculous. You've taken like this Khabib model, and you've put on like a bigger fella, and I don't know if we can say he's better than Khabib, because everyone all of a sudden is like, oh, this dude's like the new Khabib. I'm like, I don't know. Like, let's give him the chance. For sure, he's got all the makings, bro.
Yeah.
He's for sure got all the makings.
No, agreed.
But what I'm saying to you is, nobody's like, there's no negative feedback. You know what I'm saying? But like, why are you giving Usman such a hard time for doing the same thing in a different way?
But I also think people don't give Usman enough credit, right?
Yeah, dude.
Usman didn't have his regular camp for this
Yeah.
fight. He didn't land up fighting Burns because of the COVID story. So he spent his whole camp with a different group of people,
Yeah.
preparing for a fight.
For a grappler, bro.
And like anyone who's
You know what I
ever
mean?
changed camps in their career, they know how difficult the first fight is out of a new camp. You know, it's
Yeah.
like there's so many unknowns. Like, how this is going to go? Like, was the new strategy correct? Was the preparation correct? Will my corner be good? You know, like so like no one gives Usman credit. They're just like, oh, it wasn't a great performance. It was boring.
Yeah,
it was
but
this,
you
it was
see,
that. You're like, what are you talking about,
that's
dude?
also the star power. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because realistically, 90% of the casual fan thinks that Masvidal is going to win.
Yeah.
Because they don't know anything else. You know what I mean? They're like, oh yeah, this dude's definitely, he's the BMF. You know what I mean? He's like this huge star. He's going to win. You know what I mean? And you're like, oh, it's going to be an all-out ball, because you've seen Usman's credentials. You've probably maybe never even really seen him fight, or you've like watched him wrestle, and you're like, oh, I don't want to watch this. You know what I mean? And you're like so disappointed that it wasn't the stand-up war that you wanted.
Yeah.
And you take that out on Usman.
Which
you know what I'm
why
saying?
were you even shocked? If you'd seen any of Usman's fights, you would know that
what he
isn't
does,
how he
bro.
fights.
That's what he does. You know what I mean? And he's the fucking best at it, bro. You cannot talk about like styles like GSP, Khabib, and you cannot leave Usman out of that conversation. We can look past it as much as you want, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, maybe he's not the best on the mic. You know, maybe he's a bit cringeworthy a lot of the time. But what he does is fucking phenomenal, bro. Honestly, people keep asking me, like, what? I'm like, I don't think, okay, obviously, given time, Khamzat might be that answer. But when you look at that division, I don't think there's anyone that beats Kamaru Usman, bro. I honestly don't.
Let's start talking about super fights. Let's do a Khabib Usman super fight. I know that's not going to be the fireworks that everyone wants to talk about, but if there is going to be someone that could beat Khabib, it's Usman.
Yeah, but that's like, Usman is like borderline not making welterweight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's give Khabib the opportunity to become champ.
Yeah, or let's for sure just have a grappling contest so we can just know.
No, let's go champ. Have Usman versus Khabib, and whoever wins is the wrestling goat of MMA.
I'm more intrigued in like that Khamzat versus Khabib down the line.
But there's no one in his weight category. At
Yeah,
this
but
stage.
he's a welterweight who can make lightweight.
Yeah, I hear
So
you.
I'm told.
And,
I don't think Usman is ever making anything below welterweight.
Usman
Well, that's what I say.
versus-
That's
Yeah.
the welterweight title for Khabib.
Usman versus Adesanya. Give him the chance to be champion.
Look, bro, I think. Well, listen. There's a real chance Paulo Costa.
Nigeria versus Nigeria.
There's a real chance Paulo Costa could absolutely spark Adesanya, bro.
Do
Yeah.
Usman versus
There's
truth.
a
There's
real chance
do
that could
Usman
happen. bro.
versus Adesanya in Nigeria.
I don't think you
Well,
can.
yeah, you don't
bro.
want to do that.
I don't think you
don't
can.
want to put
You can
Nigerian
have-
versus Nigerian. Do you
both
want
of
the,
them on the card, like Nigeria versus
You
the
need
world.
to-
You know.
Yeah.
DRC versus Nigeria. You get someone from the, I don't know. could
No,
talk
no,
about
but
it.
you want Africa versus the world
Yeah.
when it comes to Africa, dude. You
Yeah.
want Usman defending the welterweight title. You want Adesanya defending the middleweight title, and you want to put them against the Americans and the British, dude. Like
Yeah.
that's how you want to like really
Yeah.
like
Africa
like
versus the world. yeah.
like scrape on that like
I think
You want
horrid
people to pitch
history.
up with knives. Like,
you want them to burn the place down when the Africans win, dude.
yeah,
Like, that's what
we want to see. But we want
to
to
see
flames.
like we just want to see chaos.
just like the Delcha versus Stuart Austin fight, where people go so ballistic that they steal my phone. That's how.
it's just chaos. It's just chaos.
Dude, you know, like that African card is starting to become like a real reality now.
Yeah.
If you can get Ngannou at heavyweight as a champion, who'd be light heavyweight? Okay, light heavyweight. You're gonna have to.
Well, you'd
scrap.
have to throw Dalcha in at the light heavyweight.
Yeah, so
put
you
him on the
have-
main
yeah,
card at
you
light
have,
heavyweight.
Dalcha, Israel Adesanya, Kamaru Usman, Don Madge.
Trickers.
Then you can start to add in like Giacchesi,
definitely.
Sadiq, Yusuf Sadiq. You can really fucking deck out a card and give them
Yeah.
each like a foreign opponent, like a US, American or British based opponent.
Yeah.
That's becoming a reality. I think the time when we're gonna really see a African card being considered is once Ngannou becomes a champion. Because let's be honest, that's gonna fucking happen.
Yeah.
There's no ways you're gonna
And
keep
I
it
hope
out.
it's sooner than later, dude.
You know what I'm
because-
saying?
Yes.
So I think once you've got Ngannou, now you're looking across the board. You're like, well, hang on, something's happening here because out of these weight classes, I mean, if Aljo's from Jamaica, so it's not like Aljo picks up a title, and all of a sudden you got all these African or like African American fighters,
Yeah.
all holding titles. You know what I'm saying? You're like, well, the next step is surely going to be to have that like Africa versus the world, and let's really see what we
Definitely.
come up with.
Well,
dude.
remember when they did the Abu Dhabi card that
Yeah.
Don was on? It was pretty much
Russia
it
versus
was
the
pretty
world.
Russia
Yeah.
versus everyone, dude.
Yeah.
And like that's the thing. Like you want to do that when they come to Africa. And at first I thought, yeah, South Africa is definitely the hotspot for the first African event. But in reality, like Nigeria is actually
Yeah.
the best spot to have it
Yeah.
because it's way more accessible by the Europeans.
I think it also gives you that sort of like rumble in the jungle feel.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? If you can head into Lagos or Kinshasa or something like quite African, you know
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? But it's obviously there has to be the right sort of infrastructure, and your partner has to commit to that infrastructure. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like Supersport will go into Nigeria, so you've got that kind of base from that point of view. But then the hotel staffing, accommodation, is there enough entertainment around? Like there's got to be.
Security is a massive problem.
Yeah,
though.
security is a huge one, dude.
Yeah.
It obviously is a huge one. So you've got to consider all of these things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I mean, we all keep saying like Cape Town's the place, and it is.
Yeah.
It is, but I just don't know if that's a reality. You know what I mean? They're talking about you got to remember there's Morocco. Morocco's a real option,
Well, Morocco is the easiest for
Exactly.
the Europeans.
and
Dude.
Morocco's a real option. You know what
But
I
the
mean?
problem is you've got two Nigerian champions. So you want the
Yeah.
Nigerian champions, their homecoming, like.
yeah, 100%.
Um,
Fuck, imagine, dude.
yes. Dude, I bet you they'll sell like 30,000 tickets. To
Oh,
that
you'd sell out
event,
a
dude.
stadium. You'd sell out a stadium.
They'll just go to the biggest stadium in Lagos.
How big do you think? Like, I suppose maybe Supersport would be able to answer this question. How big do you think the UFC following is in Nigeria?
I think it's
I think it's
significant,
getting
dude.
bigger.
I
Yeah.
think it's
The thing is, you also got to remember, you're going to have the whole African nation of MMA.
Yeah.
South Africans are going to go to Nigeria for sure.
Well,
If
you
it's the first time it's ever happened, yeah, we're going to go.
Well, it's going to be the first time that like South African signed fighters, guys based in South Africa, can stay on their continent and go
Yeah.
and compete in the UFC. You know, like imagine, let's just say JP goes and wins on the 11th of August,
Yeah.
dude. That Nigeria card, he's definitely on that.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, yeah,
He's going straight there.
sure.
Don's definitely
I
on
like
that
how we're
card.
talking about that Nigeria card as if it's happening.
Well, like Drickus, 100%.
Yeah,
Drickus would be signed.
Yeah.
Go straight there, dude. Like, I mean, Temba, Iga, like all those are
Yeah.
those are like the best guys to like start getting onto that card, dude. Like, you could
Yeah.
stack that thing out.
Just email
You
this.
sign
Email
Rugrug,
this to Dana quickly.
You
bro.
sign Rugrug.
Yeah.
Get him in
Look,
there.
okay, I
like,
don't know about Rugrug. Well, it's a bit of a stretch. Like, let's give him a couple of fights first.
he's
maybe.
just a sacrificial lamb. We just want the fans there, dude.
Yeah, there's definitely
email
we
this to
definitely
Dana.
have.
DanaWhite@gmail.com.
Yeah, just
Yo, D-Dog.
just head that on to
DanaWhite69@gmail.com.
send that to my bro Dana, bro. Just say, hey, Hey, but you know what was funny, bro? Like even in Abu Dhabi, because I think, like, for whatever reason, there was a lot of, like, the Russian media was asking about when are we going to see more in Russia, and then this media was asking more about their continent, and then obviously, like, naturally was for me to ask about Africa, but Khabib had already mentioned Africa before that. You know what I mean? And you, like, people don't realize, dude. You know, a lot of the talk about coming to Africa has got to do with Cyborg. Like, people haven't even realized that. Khabib only mentioned coming to Africa as a charitable event, that he was kind of saying he would give all of the money that he gets paid back to build wells, is exactly what he said. You know what I mean? He's like, we could go to Uganda and raise money to build more wells.
Yeah.
That's from Cyborg, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
That exposure comes from Cyborg. So, like, having someone like Cyborg come here and go through all of that, it's massive. Like, people don't realize, like, I still think that it was, like, Cyborg had a bit of an injustice being here. I don't think we paid it enough attention. You know what I'm saying? Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, if Stylebender came here, there'd be a pile of groupies waiting to, like, tickle his nuts if that was what was requested.
Agreed,
you know what I mean?
agreed.
Like, it's
like, unfortunately for Chris,
Paulie Malinachi.
well, unfortunately for Chris, is like, she's not your, like, typical superstar, you know?
Yeah.
You know, like, Adesanya is like he's like, they've got like this uniqueness, but he's like your typical kind of superstar.
Yeah.
Whereas unfortunately for Chris, she's not your typical superstar, which is why I think maybe,
Yeah. But that's the power, bro. You know?
On a
Lagos
side note,
National
did you go-
Stadium.
Yeah, this is not lacking looking, eh?
The Lagos National Stadium. But that's what I'm saying, but it would require partners that
But
are
you don't need 55,000.
Yeah, 55,000 is a bit of a
What do you
push
mean?
walk.
You need
Like a
all of the
13,000 is good, bro.
This
You
is
must
much
remember,
nicer.
bro, Abu Dhabi was a 13,000 seater arena, for Khabib Poirier. Like, with a lot of Mother Russia. What is that?
I'll look now. This is their biggest stadium.
Moshud Abiola.
But
Where's
remember,
this,
that
Nigeria?
they might go into a convention center, dude. So, you know, like, they have a lot of, like, global summits and that in Nigeria.
Yeah.
They might use a convention center rather than a stadium that they can deck out with 20,000 seats inside a convention center. And you could technically, I mean, if you really wanted to and you were creative in how you did it, you could deck out Sanson Convention Center for an event. You know, like, you could probably get 10,000 seats in there and have an octagon in there. So I don't think they would be necessarily looking at soccer stadiums. They'd be looking at venues, like different types of venues. You saw Aries did the middle of the parliamentary court.
Yeah.
Like, they did it in the middle of, like, a open place in Parliament.
Wow.
And they just decked it out. It was obviously open to the elements. So I heard, like, some of the fighters they cancelled the event halfway through the event. So it just got too hot. There was no, like, climate control in there.
Yeah,
So
someone should have for sure thought about that, though.
Exactly. You would think so, right?
The UFC would think of something like that.
Well, look,
Yeah.
dude, last year in Abu Dhabi, it was funny because I was listening to them after the first event, and Dana was saying, he's like, you know how it is here. Like, when we were here in September, we were saying it was too hot. Now we have to wear a fucking jacket in there because it's so cold. You know what I mean? That's how they are. They're like, cool, no problem. We're going to sort that right out for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're going to make you cold. In Abu Dhabi, you know? Like, it's just fucking crazy,
Madness,
dude.
It's madness.
It's just crazy.
Did you guys see Henry Cejudo saying that he wants to fight Volkanovski?
Oh, Henry Cejudo.
Dude, guys, if you're going to retire and you're going to make this big thing that you're retiring, then retire. Because all it is now is, like, it's, okay, cool.
Did you see, as you were typing Henry, what popped up there? Henry for Deepay drugs. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know what happened here, bro? Henry Cejudo wasn't getting
Alex, I need a pee.
you
carry on with that.
Well, let's just wrap this up, then we can go.
Okay.
He didn't get the payday he wanted. He thought retiring was going to change that. Didn't happen, and I was like, well, cool, I'll fight Volkanovski. They're like, but you're retired, dude, so fuck you. You know what I mean?
That makes no sense to me.
It
No, it's
annoys
stupid,
me.
bro.
It annoys the living day outside me that Oaks retire and then they're like, okay, I'll fight this guy. No, you can't do that.
Yeah, and you can't act like you're still the champion because you're not the champion anymore.
Yeah.
What did he said? He told who's the guy who won the flyweight belt?
Piotr Jan. The
No,
flyweight belt.
Figueiredo.
He was like, yeah, he's got a renter belt or something. No, he doesn't. He has the flower
He has
belt.
the real belt.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't
because
have
you bug
quit.
it off.
Yeah, you quit. So
Yeah, yeah.
fuck you.
Well, what's easier, right? To sit around in a division and just defend it endlessly like GSP, or to win 2 fights and be like, sweet guys, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get married and live my life as undefeated in this. Well, he actually was defeated, but to live my life as the GOAT. But yeah.
Yeah, dude. He's making a fool of
Yeah,
himself.
look, renter champ.
What is Ali saying? Alexander Moreno is a tough kid. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, there's.
Yeah.
Are you saying Askar Askarov? Is he saying you won't get past Askar Askarov?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Oh yeah. There was another one. Yeah, where he was just tuning the 2 guys who won the bantamweight and. Oh yeah! Congrats to the second interim UFC champ this week. He's not. He's the champ.
Whatever, Henry. Did you see? Let's finish on this note. Did you see? Beyond Khamzat winning 2 bonuses, fighting twice in 10 days on his debut. He got called out by like Dylan Dennis. People are talking about him fighting Israel Adesanya. Like this dude is just. I can't remember in modern history anybody blowing up like this.
Yeah, dude. And you know, like
Dylan Dennis for sure
he-
just shut the fuck up. Like,
he
get a
fed
fight or don't, bro.
he fed into the UFC's like rule book of how to get get to the top. Dude, it's like take a short notice fight, come in there, dominate. Take another short notice fight, come in, dominate. It's like they don't can ask for anyone to fight.
But
now,
that's what
dude.
I'm saying. Like he's like the quintessential now like bad boy of the UFC, because the UFC loves nothing more when you give someone an opportunity and they come and they shine, bro.
Yeah.
And to do it twice in 10
10
days, they're like, cool, bro, you tell us what you want from here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's fucking insane. But it's been real. Fight Island was legit. I fucking loved it. I think it's so hectic how everyone was just like, there's just fight after fight after fight. You like can't even stop to breathe, and you're like, this is the best shit ever.
We can do Fight Island 2.0 in New
Yeah,
Zealand.
dude. Let's have it. Let's have it. I'm fucking all in. But the times, bro, fuck the times. Everyone was like, oh, bro, I thought it was going to be more friendly for South Africans. I'm like, dude, we don't buy pay-per-views.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Then nobody cares.
Why
You know
would
what I
you
mean?
do that, dude?
You can
Yeah.
thank Supersport. But yeah, it's been good. I look forward to the next one.
See
Stay
you,
safe.
peeps.
See yas.
Cheers.
Peace.